Hello again, everyone. In this video, we are going to make a minimal Docker Compose file for Airflow 3.0, which just came out. Now, I am by no means an Airflow expert. I hardly ever use it, unfortunately. I just don't really have too many chances to use it. But I do love the Airflow Docker Compose setup, which is really nice to kind of spin up when you're doing side projects or just kind of playing around. So when 3.0 came out, I went ahead and tried to set that up like I did with previous versions, ran into some snags and hiccups, and of course it's new, so ChatGPT, Cursor weren't really a lot of help. So once I worked it out, well, here we are, and I'm making this video. So all that out of the way, let's jump right in. So here in Google, I will just go to Airflow Docker Compose. And let's see. There's a version over here. You can switch down. I think that'll just change a few of the commands and the YAML file that it points at. So if we scroll down, you see here we have the YAML file we need to grab. Let me make that a little bigger, but still usable. Okay, and we do need to create these 4 directories. I'm on Linux, so this setting the ID will work for me. I'm not sure how that works on Windows and Mac. Mac, it's probably the same. Windows is probably how it was in previous Airflow versions, but I'm not really certain about that. So let me go ahead and I'll just start a terminal here, make that nice and big so we can all see. And I'm going to make a directory and just call this Airflow demo. Change into that directory, start Visual Studio Code. And I will start by, let's create the directories. So I just hit Control backtick, or that little key under your escape key, whatever you'd like to call it. And I'm going to make these directories. There they are. And I'm going to go ahead and echo my user's ID into the env file. And there we are, no secret there. It's 1000. You could manually set that, but just be aware, I think if you start a cloud VM, like in GCP, that's probably going to be 1001. So you're best off just running that command. Okay. Let's see here. Now we just need to grab the YAML file. Okay. And let's see if we can make that big while still usable. Hopefully that's not too small. I guess it's going to be hard to navigate if I make that any bigger. So first thing, let's go ahead and we will change this from Celery executor to local. Just meaning it's just going to run on one container there. So we can get rid of these Celery lines. Oh, I just want to delete those. Let's see. Load examples. I'm going to go ahead and set that to false. Otherwise, when you first start it up, you're going to get 2 big screens of DAGS, which are great if you want to learn more about DAGS, but for this demo, this should be just fine. Let's see here. That all looks pretty good. Moving down, we do need our Postgres database. We do not need Redis. Get rid of that. The web server appears to now be API server, so we'll leave that alone. We will want the scheduler. Well, we'll probably want something to process our DAGs. Let's see, worker. I don't think we need celery worker, so we do not need the worker. I'll leave the trigger there. I think that is needed, and we will want the airflow-init just to do some setup. That all looks good. And let me just make sure there's no container that's depending on a container that I removed. I think Redis is in here. Yes. So we'll get rid of that. Let's see. Just gonna do one last glance here. I think that's all good. The other thing I am going to do is, rather than using the base image, I'm going to go ahead and comment that out, and I'm going to build, because I want to install some extra Python packages. And the way you do that is you use the Airflow base image and then you just do your installs there. I'm going to hit Control S to save it. I'll make sure that's an X. Make Docker file. And let's see, did I have a note on how to create that? Let me see. No. So that's easy enough. If you look here, pip additional requirements, a better way to build a custom image. We've got a nice link right here. I'm just going to go and open that up. And if we scroll down, I've been through this already, so I kind of know what I'm doing, maybe. So I'm going to copy that, and we're just going to put that into our Docker file. And don't think I really need that part. That's going to install probably some helpful airflow functionality, and it's setting the version to the current version, I believe, just so they play nice. But since we're installing from requirements, I'm just going to come over here, requirements.txt, and I'm just going to write a Parquet file to Google Cloud Storage. I will need pandas, pi, arrow, because it's Parquet. Control S to save that, and let's see. The other thing I will need is Airflow Google Storage. Let's see. Apache Airflow Google looks good. I'm just going to copy that over. Okay. That all looks good. And I'm just kind of scrolling through here one more time. See if anything jumps out at me. Have the directories. Okay, that all looks good. So I'm just going to run docker compose, make that a little bigger now, up airflow-init, Postgres 13, Let's see. Okay, so what happened was right before I started recording, I just have a script out here. Well, I can link that down in the description, but I installed Docker and Docker Compose. At the end, it's supposed to switch user to the current user, so all I did was basically simulate logging out and logging back in. So you can wave your hand at all of that. Let's focus on airflow. Docker Compose up, airflow-init. And that's probably going to take a few moments, so I'm going to let that run. Let's see, it's 6:28 my time now, and we'll pick back up after that's initialized. Okay, well, I actually stepped away, so I think that only took about 3 minutes, so not bad at all. And I did manage to look at the documentation and step away within 3 minutes. So looking here, I was looking, the trigger is a trigger runs an event loop for deferrable tasks. I'm not really sure what that means, but I'm pretty sure we can get away with getting rid of it. So that's why I like doing this stuff. I'm all for breaking things, and then, well, if it doesn't work, I know what I removed or what I did probably shouldn't have been done or removed. So I'm going to just go ahead and take this out. I don't think running the init did anything necessarily that would require that, but we'll find out together. So let's see. Docker ps, see what's running. Looks like just Postgres is up, so I'm going to do Docker Compose up. You can do a -D if you don't want to see all the output, but I just want to see if we throw any errors here. Warning that a container is running as root. Everything looks good so far. Not really sure how long that's going to take. So while that is running, I'm going to go ahead and bring up GCP so I can make a bucket and service account so we can just write our Parquet file there. Okay, here's a project I already have. So a few things we're going to need here. Well, let's set up our storage bucket first. And those are from some cloud functions I have running. Yeah, I probably made this and deleted it, so it's probably available. What I like to do is, things like this are usually taken. So just mash some keys. There we go. 5436. Default is multi-region, that's fine. Standard. Just confirm. So the old next. Here we have our bucket. So next we need a service account with permissions to write to that bucket. I'm just going to make a service account here. Let's see, I'll call this airflow. And for a role, this is the piece that we're going to need. So we need to find cloud storage. And storage admin is definitely not bad or best practice. Wouldn't want to do this in production, but personal projects and for the sake of this demo, that's fine. So now that I have that, I'm going to want to manage keys, add a key, create a new key. JSON is fine. And I just want to bring that up. And let's see how our VM is doing. I'm just going to go to localhost 8080, I believe. And it should be airflow. Okay. And if you notice, if I go to DAGS here, no DAGS found. Again, something I forget when I'm playing around with stuff like this is if that is set to true, it's set to true by default. You get all those DAGs and you're like, oh wow, I don't want these. Go ahead, bring down Docker Compose, delete the containers, delete the volumes, because that is going to be saved, I believe, in the Postgres database Docker volume. And then just bring it back up and you should be good. Okay. So, to make our DAG, I'm just going to, well, here, I'll make this bigger so we can see it. I have my imports here, start date. I mean, that's 2 years ago. Let's make it the beginning of this year. Bucket ID. Let's go ahead and grab that. Or actually, sorry, wrong detour. I'm going to set up the connection first, then we'll make the DAG. Let's do it like that. Okay, so cloud overview. I want to go to the dashboard. This is not my project ID. That is my friendly project name that I know it by. Project name. Just so happens I got lucky and that project ID isn't already being used. So if I go here, I want to go to admin connections. I want to add a connection. I'll just call this GCP demo like that. Give that a moment to load. All right. Scroll down here and we will do, let's see, do they just have Google Cloud Platform? That should work. Extra fields, project ID. Then here in the key file JSON, that's the service account key we just created that has cloud storage admin. And I believe that's all it needs. So GCP demo. And we'll go back here. And it will take a connection name somewhere in here. You know what? I'm going to create the DAG, and when it yells at me, I'll know where to put it. Okay, copy that. And in our DAGs folder, we're just going to make a new file called Parquet to GCS. How about that? Control V. And the white dot up here, if you're not familiar, means it's not saved. Control S will save it. And now if I come back to Airflow, there's probably a little bit of a delay here. Seeing if I could get a readout on the time that it scans that directory. Not time to refresh, not time to refresh. I'm sure you can set that somewhere. Well, while that's waiting to refresh, let's go ahead and finish up this DAG. We are going to need our bucket ID. So for that, if we just go back to buckets, the bucket we created, and actually that should be all we need. Yeah, I don't think we need the GS. I think that's just implied by the type of resource this is. So again, the Parquet file is going to be written in Airflow to temp output.parquet. It looks like it's going to put it in a directory in the bucket called data. The data frame is going to be very small, 3 rows, 2 columns, Alice, Bob, and Charlie. So the table just makes the pandas data frame, makes it a pi arrow table, writes the Parquet file. Then if we go here, did I call that GCP demo? I think so. I'm going to go ahead and save that. Okay, bucket name is set, destination blob name, Parquet file, and then it's just going to remove that Parquet file off of the container Airflow is running on. Yeah, so 2 tasks. One is to make the Parquet file, the other is to upload to Google Cloud Storage. All right. Oh, maybe I did need that trigger. I don't think so, because there is a DAG parser in here, unless I accidentally deleted that as well. So the interval is 30 seconds. It looks like it's not seeing that for some reason. Contains emphasized items. Not sure exactly what that is. I am going to just click around, see if it notices it. If not, you know what, I'm going to Control-C that, stop my containers. Although, when I was doing this earlier today, it was seeing those DAGs right away. So, not sure what's going on there. If I figure it out, make a note down in the description. And let me go ahead and I'm going to open up a terminal and I'm going to watch Docker PS just because. Really? All right, Control-C, switch user. What user do I want to switch to? My current user. Put in my password. I know a fix for that. I just can't think of it at the moment. And of course, now everything's coming up. Yeah. Healthy. So if we go back here, give it a refresh. Still no DAGs. Oh, no DAG runs. Well, it sees my DAG now. Okay, you know what? I'm going to run this and then I'll go down the rabbit hole of testing why that didn't go. I'm just going to go ahead and trigger that. Run it. Come back here to my bucket. give that a refresh. Try to click into my bucket, nothing's there. Okay. What was the issue? So it made the Parquet file. Buckets must start and end with a number or letter. Okay, so my script must be a little wrong here. If I go to the code, bucket name, notice here I've got a space in front of airflow. Now I just want to test this here. I'm going to remove that. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and trigger this again. Okay. It's really odd that it picked up the change. Maybe it watches for changes now that the file is in there. And I'm probably too lazy to remember / Google that later. So if you know, let me know down in the comments. But now I'm just curious. testdag.py. Let's see, I can probably butcher this a little bit. Actually, I'm not even going to attempt to stumble through that. But let's see here. If I go back to DAGS, it's really odd that it's not picking it up. Okay. Now I'm just staring blankly thinking, and that's probably no fun to watch. So anyway, that's how you would get kind of a... Oh, that's going to haunt me for a while. Earlier today when I was writing them, they would just show right up. Anyway, that's it for this video. So if you want to get going with Airflow 3.0, start playing around with it. I really like this setup because I have other videos on how to get Docker Compose going on a VM and GCP, how to install Airflow, but that would have been one of the 2 versions, or Airflow 2. And this is just really nice. It lets you install the dependencies, the extra Python packages in that separate Docker container. You don't need to worry about having all the workers, so you can just kind of focus on learning the tool without making it so small that it's I don't know how I want to phrase that. If you just do Airflow, it's almost too small for a lot of the learning possibilities, and if you go too big, it could probably be overwhelming. But anyway, that's it for this video, and I'll see you in another one.